ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदम। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we will be discussing on the verse Bhagavad-Gita 4.20. So now I will read the verse, synonyms, translation and purport. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatrupto nirashrayah karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Synonyms: Tyaktva, having given up; karma phala sangam, attachment for fruitive results; nitya, always; triptaha, being satisfied; nirashrayah, without any shelter; karmani, in activity; abhipravrittaha, being fully engaged; api, in spite of; na, does not; eva, certainly; kinchit, anything; karoti, do; saha, he. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. This freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness, where one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant actions of good and bad. It is as though he were not doing anything. This is the sign of the akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker, and that is the real aspect of vikarma, as explained herein before. Now, here the differentiation between the materialist and the person who is the devotee of the Lord has been described. Here, the materialist, how he thinks, the materialist is basically absorbed in his own world, where he is thinking for only his own enjoyment. He doesn't want to give anything to the Lord. So here in Bhagavad-Gita 16.13 to 15 is a brief description about how demons or materialists think. This is what Krishna himself is saying. Idamadya maya labdham imam prapsye manoratham idamasti idamapi me bhavishyati punardhanam asau maya hatashatruhu hanishye cha paranapi ishvaro hamaham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi adhyo bhijanavanasmi konyosti sadrisho maya yakshye dasyami modishye ityajnana vimohitaha. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform some sacrifices, give some charity, and I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So again, as we mentioned here, this is the thinking style of the demons. So they think that today I have this much, tomorrow I will make this much, then after 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, in the whole life I will make this much. I will give some charity and other things to gain some pious activities, and that will also help me multiply my money. Then I can enjoy the most. I shall rejoice. So a detailed explanation is given here. Whereas the devotee he leaves everything for the Supreme Lord to take care and handle. He does not take anything for himself. As it is mentioned here, he does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. So do your best and leave the rest. So karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You are only entitled to do your work. That is service to the Lord. That is all your materialistic work. You are not all the materialistic responsibilities towards the family, towards the workplace, etc. that you are supposed to perform. So you are not entitled to the results of that. Krishna will give you. Krishna is watching and watching everything that you do, and he will give you the results. So this is the devotee thinking, that he does not try to secure anything. He does not try to protect things already in his possession. This is the thinking of the devotee. And asuras are people who are basically not interested in deity worship. So again, as Prabhupada is mentioning, abandoning attachment to the results of the activities is difficult. The devotee here is abandoning the result to his activities. He is thinking that I am doing everything for only the Lord. So, but how much have I gained? How much will I make tomorrow? How much was I earlier? This is our disease. So asuras are just atheists. They are non-devotees. They don't think about the Lord. They don't even believe in the conception of a God. So here the Lord is giving us minute independence. If we violate the conditions of being independent, of getting minute independence, then we will be punished by the laws of material nature. This is the other opposite type of action, or a bad action, vikarma, where it is said that any other action, therefore devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker. That if you violate the rules, if you do anything without dedicating it for Krishna, then that also comes under the vikarma, and that you will be punished for everything wrong that you do. So just like in the state, you are allowed to do as you wish. So the state does not care about what you do, what you do. It only cares about the result. What is the result? If you do something wrong, you will violate the code that is being given in the constitution or in the law book of the state. Then the state will punish you. So that is the result of the activity. So if you violate the rule, then you become a criminal. And again, in 18.66, here it is mentioned, 18.66, we should, not in this purport, but it is quite related, that we should use this independence and serve or surrender. This devotee here, he has his minute independence, but he has chosen to dovetail everything towards the Lord. That I am not attached to anything, only serving the Lord. So I am doing everything for the Lord. So now this is our condition, where we are not able to abandon the result of our activities. So pure, our condition is like the pure rainwater, which is pure in the air, but as soon as it touches the ground, it becomes polluted. So we spirit souls are actually pure, but we are contaminated by the touch of the material nature, just as the pure raindrop is contaminated by the touch of the dirty ground. So thus we are fallen. We are trying to go away from God. We are trying to imitate God. So we want to compete with Him. So we think that we are God, or else we will make somebody else as God, or else like that. So people will just continue making a lot of misconceptions, but they don't know what is the actual truth. So Bhagavad-Gita 7.15, Namam dushkritino mudhaha. Mudhas who are atheistic, they never surrender to the Lord. They never accept the authority of the Lord, and thus, so then how will they be able to dovetail the result of all the activities to the Lord? That is impossible. And Lord Krishna here is teaching us how to work, wherein we should give up the result of all our activities, because now it is not just by doing only bad activity that we are getting entangled. Okay, so because like we are doing some bad activity, either we have to suffer for it here, or we have to go to hell and suffer for it, depending upon how great the magnitude of the bad activity is. If we do some good activity in this world, then we have to get the result also for it, right? So we have to enjoy either here or in Svargaloka, that is the upper planets. So in both ways we are entangled. So what is the way out? Akarma, that is action without fruitive reaction. Without this action, that is akarma, it does not have a material reaction. It has a spiritual benefit. It has 0% material benefit, 100% spiritual benefit. So this akarma is where we are just dedicating everything, the result of our activities, to Guru and Krishna. So for now here it is given here that karmi works for himself, the devotee works for the Lord. Karma and bhakti seem to be the same, but they are not, because karma is where we are doing either vikarma or satkarma, that is good activities or bad activities. But bhakti is akarma, where we are doing something that doesn't have a material benefit but a spiritual benefit. This will help us to go back to Godhead. This will help us to break the chain of action and reaction that we have committed over the past lives, because this chain of action and reaction will keep on continuing only then. So then how can we get out of this material world? That is the point that is that we are trying to explain here. So now finally, the person who is being spoken about in this verse is working for day and night, but he is doing nothing materially. So it has 0% material benefit. He is working for the Lord, so thus he is not getting entangled. He is working for the Lord, and thus he is getting the spiritual benefit of his material work. So it can be said that he is not doing anything materially. So this is exactly the way how a devotee should be able to do his activities. That he should dedicate everything for the service of the Lord and not to use anything for his personal gain. We should not want to secure anything, not protect anything in our possession. So he does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to the Lord. So we should all try to have this feeling. We should that I want to do for the Lord. Then we will be performing akarma. We will not be doing anything material, and then we can break the chain of action and reaction, and then get out of this world and successfully go back to Godhead. This is the perfect way of how a person who is a devotee can maintain his devotional service and increase it by dovetailing everything towards serving the Supreme Lord. So this is the end of the explanation on Bhagavad-Gita 4.20. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams.